Good morning, and welcome to Winnipeg. No sunrise this morning. It is cloudy and gray out there right now. Doesn't mean that our walkers are not going to appear, or maybe already have appeared. I haven't been sitting there staring at the monitor. I can maybe check later just for the fun of it. We'll see what happens. Now, as it turns out, if I had have waited just 2 more minutes, they would have showed up. Yeah, I just should have waited 2 more minutes. Anyway, there they are. This must be a daily thing. Is it going to become a daily thing with us? Well, I guess time will tell, won't it? Anyway, before we get going here, and I put the second coat on. That looks terrible, doesn't it? Doesn't it just look absolutely terrible? It just did not go on well. I was kind of embarrassed. Anyway, let's take our little jar to the paint shaker. There's somebody who wanted to see it. Now, somebody had asked just recently if I could show my paint shaker. Now, this is very, very crude. I made this up about, I'm guessing 6, maybe 7 years ago, when I was wanting to shake up the little bottles of dye for my aluminolite for when I was turning pens, and when I was stabilizing punky wood with aluminolite. Anyway, this is just very simple. I had this mandrel. This mandrel used to be in a homemade table saw that I made about 40 years ago. And this electric motor, when I got a new furnace and they were going to throw away the old one, I said, hey, I'll keep the motor, because I knew I'd replaced the motor about only 2 years earlier. So the motor, as far as I was concerned, was brand new. Why throw it out, right? So this whole thing I made up, basically for nothing. You can see here that the belt is just about ready to. It's an old fan belt that I saved out of one of my cars years ago. You know, I save stuff like that. Anyway, all we do here is we just turn it on, and it shakes our little bottle. And I can adjust this for different size stuff. Anyway, we've got our number 77 here. Let's go and put a second coat on. Okay, I'm just going to quickly go ahead and paint these, and we'll take a quick look at them afterwards. I spent way too much time in the last episode painting these things. Yeah, as I said, embarrassing. Okay, here's what's happened. I realize you cannot see the clock, but it was about 3 hours ago that I put the second coat on these platforms, and they actually came out quite good. I used this brush, and I had 3 of these jars. Each one was some degree of thinned, and I think the plus stands for paint retarder. And what I did was I took, and out of the 3, in other words, I got one that was almost full, and I shook it up. It's a little bit on the, you might say, thick side. I wouldn't want to try and spray with this, but if I do have to spray, I'll thin it out. But it did paint really well, and these. Okay, we're going to need. We're back to. What is it here? J39. So it will probably be either this one or this one. These other ones we don't need for a bit yet. Okay, let's try and get ourselves recomposed and see if we can put this back down. If you remember, we put it down, and then I suddenly remembered, or realized rather, that it would be easier to paint these when they are off of here. And it actually was. It was quite easy putting them on the rotator and being able to turn them a few degrees. And well, you know how I did it in the last episode. So anyway, let's recompose here and see if we can get this one and this one on today and its little components that attach to it. Okay, enough talk here, Ron. Enough talk. How about some action? Okay, here we are. J39, and if it fit 24 hours ago, it should fit today, right? But we're just going to check and make sure. Yeah, that's going to be all right. And what I'm going to be using here is the Tamiya thick. Now, it's pretty runny, as you will remember. And I'm just going to go around the outside of this hole here. Now, is that flat? Yeah, that should adhere on there pretty good. Come on. There we go. Now, I don't think that'll come up once it cures. And our F7 and J24, they go back in there again. Maybe I'll put the macro lens on. Okay, once again, we're going to just do a dry run here. And reposition a little bit. You know, if it fit before, it's probably going to fit now, right? I don't have the right angle, do I? There. Yeah, that's going to be all right. Now, I think once again, now this one has nothing to do with the one that goes right there. So let's just take it out. And we'll take our Tamiya thick again. Whoops, I dropped it. Well, I'll get it. And kind of running down the stem here. I'm going to go put a little on the edge there. Okay, now we'll get our part back on the tweezer. This may not want to stay in place here. What I need is a little tiny clamp. I wonder if I could rig something up. What could I rig up? Because I can't hold it like this all day. I wonder if one of my mini clamps would go in there. Or you know what? Maybe what I should do is come in with the Tamiya extra thin quick setting and just put some right in the back there and just hold it. Let me just see if I can rig up a clamp first. Okay, the only thing I could think of was the self-locking tweezers, and they don't have any kind of padding on them, so I'm just going to come in behind with a quick setting here. Just let it go in. I'm pretty sure we got it in there, and then I'm just going to hold it for a few seconds. Okay, I didn't time it, but I imagine that's probably about a minute. Let's see what happens if I release now. Okay, here we go for a dry run. Yeah, I think that this part is also supposed to be fastened onto the edge of the splinter rail, so just set that off to the side here. And I'm trying to get my Tamiya thick here opened up. And we'll put a little bit on the edge here where I think, ooh, that's too much. It was running down the applicator. There, that's better. It wasn't seated right. But that's not going to stay together. I can tell by the feel of it. It just took too much effort. I can try and put a little bit of quick setting in there. But maybe I'll... Oh, I'm marking it, aren't I? I don't think it's going to hold. No. Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. It wasn't all the way forward. Okay, that looks better, doesn't it? Okay, let's quit while we're ahead. Oh, this one came open again. Yeah, I'll bet you what happened is when I put the quick setting in, it wicked its way through and dissolved the... Okay, let's not touch it now. Moving over to the other side here now, we're going to be doing everything exactly the same way. I'm just going to quickly do it off camera and get it done. I think if it fit on the other side, it should also fit on this side, right? So why isn't it? Do I not have that lined up? Yeah, I've got it lined up. There we go. No, that's not it either. I think it's a case of it just didn't want to go into that hole. Okay, so we'll use the Tamiya to soften the hole, and if it's held by the hole, it's not going to be coming out of there, right? Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and get this done, and then we'll move on to something else here. Okay, we got this stuff on now, and moving along in our manual, I think the next most logical thing to do will be to put this piece on. And I think that the best way to put the bell in is when it's upside down like it is right now. So I don't think it matters which one we take. I think I'm going to take whichever one I can pick up. Alright, so this is going to go in upside down. I just want to make sure it's going to fit. Once again, maybe I should be sticking on the macro lens here. Yeah. Okay, I'm just going to have to take this off camera here so that I can get it right in the tweezer. Don't want to be scraping the paint off. Whoops, I dropped it. I drop stuff a lot with these tweezers. I think I'm going to have to position this just a little bit differently here. Okay, let's just I don't think we need to try and force that all the way down. Let's just make sure it's straight. That looks straight to me. It maybe could go in a little bit more, but okay, I think that's good. Let's just leave that alone. Now, I know that we've had this piece dropped on here several times before, and it always fit. And I just wanted to see where, everything was going to come here. Now, I recall that, where's the other glue? Okay, I recall that when I was putting the glue on this, something like this before, one of the viewers commented and said, why don't you put it on the inside of the part? So I think that's what I'm going to do this time. I'm just going to put it along the inside of this part here, and then if it runs down, it doesn't matter. It's not going to, well, I didn't intend to do that much, but we just want it so that it doesn't pop off if it gets lifted on. Whoops. That's not real important. It's not going to hurt anything. Not in there. I think here at the front, I want to make sure it's going to stay on. Okay. Now, everywhere that I put glue is not going to be, adhering, but there's going to be enough places that it will. Even just a couple of places, the plastic will meld together, and this won't accidentally be lifted off when I'm working on it to, putting other pieces on. I don't think I need to put a weight or anything on it. I think it's gonna be okay just the way it is here. And it is all the way back, right? Yeah. Okay, let's move on. Now, I was going to remove the masking tape from around the splinter rails here, but I was noticing that the deck seems to be a little bit blotchy in some places. I don't think I gave this the second coat that I was talking about. And yet, on the other hand, I might lose the detail that we can see here. I don't know which is worse, looking down, and mind you, I think it was Paul was saying that these two smaller holes on the end are for ammo boxes, and then the 20mm guns plug in here and here. That makes sense. I didn't peruse ahead in the manual to see, but he's a little bit ahead of me in this build, so yeah, just undecided here. Guess I better make up my mind. I did give our platforms a second coat, and I put it on really light, and yet it was the entire platform was wet, but I could see the texturing of the platform, so I'm sure that once it's dry, it's going to not look any worse for wear. Yet on the other hand, wear is what we might want to depict, right? Okay, just let me see if I can't do something here on camera. I'm going very, very carefully here so as not to want to come at very carefully here. I don't want to cut the part. No, left on a little more than I had intended. Well, maybe I can get that off later, off camera. Let's see if I can get a little closer with this one. Yeah, that one came good. That one came good. Let's get that out of there now. I wonder if I can get this one here. I have to be careful that I don't want to squeeze right now. These things are these cutters are so terribly sharp that they will just nip right through that. Yeah, I got most of it off there. Okay, let's try another one here. Maybe I didn't have my my cutter, horizontal enough, if you know what I mean. See, if I was to hold this down, if I hold it down with my finger, that won't work. Okay, maybe Mr. T's poking device here will work. Okay, we want to hold this down like that. Can you still see it though? Come on. Come on. Yeah, that's pretty good. Okay, one more now. It's a little bit on there, isn't there? I wonder if I was to go more like this. Try that. Yeah, kind of got it. Now these things are so very, very fragile that it would be quite easy to accidentally break them if I was trying to scrape the flashing off, you know what I mean? So I just want to get them so that they're reasonably good. Now you'll notice on these things that this end out here, it's got sort of an unusual shape to it. I don't know how that is supposed to go on the bottom of the platform. These are supposed to act as supports. That's what they're all about. Okay, enough poking around here. Okay, our platforms look pretty good. I'm wondering if maybe I could have put the paint on maybe just a little bit heavier. We'll move in and take the masking tape off, and you'll be able to see it for yourself. Gotta hold it down here, it's starting to come off the... There we go. Got my finger in your way, but let's do the other one. And this one should be easier, it doesn't have the masking tape on the back. Alright. I think that came out a little better. The second coat seemed to get rid of the blotchiness. Yeah. Yeah, that's going to be good. Okay, here's the plan. I think what I'm going to do with these little supports that have to go underneath these platforms is that I'm going to paint them after I get them glued into place. They are so spindly and so small that I think the glue is going to make them twice the diameter, or not the glue, but the paint would make them twice the diameter that they normally are. Now I don't know if there's any like positioning holes or anything like that on the bottom here. Oh yeah, there is. There's a couple of little holes on the bottom. I never noticed that before. So, okay, well that's going to maybe make it easy. At least I would imagine that's what those holes are for. It kind of looks like it when I check the manual here. Yeah. Okay, let's, well, you know what? It's almost 2 o'clock. I'm going to call it quits for this episode. So, I don't know if I'll be coming back at this again later. Right now I'm gung-ho. At 6 o'clock tonight I might not be. But we've had this conversation before too, haven't we? So, thanks for watching, everybody. And all being well, we'll be seeing you in the next episode.